Sorry, no speak English.
Terrorists are going to burn down the Undertaker's house.
Ding dong. Hello?
Yes. Guess what, everybody? Surprise! You're inducted into the Hall of Fame. And it's the Hall of Shame. What a palooza it was. All of the ins and outs. Underbooking, rated. Rated C superstars. Ready to break it down here on the Monday Locker Room. Face me, green bastard. Face me. YOLO. Oh, what is good, guys? What is good? Hopefully you're having a great kickoff to fall here. Yeah, hopefully your football bets did well. And, we're going to break down the WrestlePalooza Toronto AEW spectacular. And, it was another big weekend for sports and sports entertainment fans and everyone to be an armchair quarterback on Monday morning. So why would we be any different? There's nobody else I'd rather have as my offensive coordinator this morning than my good friend, Art of the B to the V, Richard Bronson Vickery. Good to see you, pal.
Been a lot coming in hot here this Monday morning. A lot to talk about. As you mentioned, we're going to dive into Vegas goes over strong. We had a big wrestling stack Saturday going all out with the Palooza. There's a number of angles I want to talk about there. Hey, not the wrestling angle, but directions I want to talk to you about there, brother. But to start things off, I didn't want to go too somber here, but I want to give a shout out and a dedication. First and foremost, the reason I'm doing this is, over here in the chat, we're filling up. I appreciate, love everybody over there. And this is, to be able to sit here in the studio with you, especially at a time like this, is the therapy. Can I get a therapy chant going on there?
therapy. Yeah.
But this morning, around 1 a.m., got the call that my family has been, I would say necessarily dreading, but always weighs heavy on you for a while, that my grandfather, Raymond Bolhauer, more affectionately known around these parts in the OHIO as Bud, had passed away at the age of 88. He lived one hell of a life. Nice. His core for his beliefs were in the love for his family and the faith for his Lord. He was an absolute, from that same cut of cloth as your dad. It was chop wood, carry water. He believed in the red, white, and blue. It was buy American, no matter what. Professional life, he was a bricklayer. He bust his ass every day to provide. He was involved locally. He built up his community through local politics. He believed in the American working spirit. His community he supported through building, lending his talents as a bricklayer, volunteering those to build the local youth sports complex where my mom, my aunts, my uncles, myself, and all the other kids of the communities through the 70s, 80s, and 90s were able to find their love for sports. And today I just want to remember him and dedicate this episode of the Monday Locker Room to my grandpa Bud. And he was one hell of a guy. And I'm just going to try to carry on, what he embodied. Just get out there and work his ass off. Never, he judged not a man by his color, but by his work ethic and how he took care of his family.
That's great. What a great sentiment, and absolutely dedicate today's show to your family and Bud's memory today, man. What a true, just an American dream story, right? To live it and pass it forward and make sure your essence carries on, man. And obviously you're doing that in everything you're doing as well. So, absolutely.
I will tell you the only thing weird about him out there, and maybe this is where I got my bad habit from it. He loved his whiskey and his bourbon, but he would mix it with Pepsi, which I always found very peculiar. I don't know if I could completely trust a guy that's mixing that with Pepsi, but
he's a big CM Punk guy. I mean,
he was. It was clobbering time all the time.
Yeah, man. We'll have some laughs for him today. The boys in the locker room representing as they go out there and do what we got to do, man, to break down WrestlePalooza and all the insides and outs and some interesting things that I spy with my critical eye that the fans may not, or that leaves me questioning things for the future of this locker room. But it's hot news off the press, man. And again, thank you for sharing that, dude, as we start the show, dude. Absolutely represent all those that are lost, dude. I think about that all the time. As soon as you said that, my mind goes my best friend Hooch, who died way too young, and he was a Coke and Jack Daniels guy. So hopefully they're sitting across from each other, sharing one, their favorites. So
absolutely. Well, before we get into wrestling, and there are, especially the as we enter the new era of the ESPN and WWE marriage, there's a number of angles I want to take to talk with you about that. And a lot of them have to do with the business of this deal. We'll get into the actual show itself. But as I had mentioned, brother, and I saw you did pretty well, though. But this weekend, some highly contested games in the NFL, some big-time blowouts. I saw Vegas went over big time this weekend in week 3 as these teams settle in and start to figure out how, who's who amongst the ranks, who's the pretenders and who's actually the contenders in the NFL. How did you do, man?
I split 50-50. I lost. Okay. I lost
hey,
two.
That's a
I
win.
lost $2 overall. Yeah. So, no, I didn't go in on anything too heavy. Just things I thought would. Like I thought Saquon would have a game. He didn't. So, I picked the right people, but I try and parlay it with minimum amount of yards or a touchdown score. But most of the touchdown scores I picked hit. Scattaboo last night was my kind of final win. Just some people didn't hit their marks. Like I thought Neighbors would have 40 yards and Russell would have 1 passing touchdown. And what are you going to do? So, some really great games down to the wire. The Eagles game and the comeback was awesome.
A couple of big comebacks, but that one was big time. Tampa Bay wins for the 3rd week in a row on a game-winning drive. And they're all about excitement down there.
Yeah, who cost me? Oh, Green Bay. That cost me two
those Browns will come bite you in the ass. Them dogs, they still chomp, man. They'll come get you. On the other side of Ohio, the Bengals just took an absolute psycho stew-esque ass whooping from the Vikings. They just got
absolutely. I knew that was going to be like that. I don't know where you guys are watching. Hameen Media Group or Ben Hameen YouTube channel, but appreciate you guys filling up the chat. I know you like to interact. I see them both. I can't really deviate or which one is which in StreamYard, but wherever you're catching us, catch the clips on Hameen Media Group. If you want to be in my chat because there's more people and you want to hang and bang, so be it. Open 2 tabs and do as thou wilt. But yeah, man, it was a big NFL weekend of betting with a couple of parlay busters. But I kind of hedged with things that are odds in my favor. And Javid's been doing a great job in the Hameen Media group Facebook, putting what he thinks are out there. And I placed 3 of his picks and 2 out of 3 hit. So we're having a good time with it. I can't go hardcore with how much I bet, dude. I don't have a stomach for it, dude. So and that's a double whammy because I also have to pay cannabis tax today for quarterlies. And dude, I just going to be laying on the floor and taking heat. If anybody wants to come over and just get some kicks in on me, that's where I'll be. So if you got to get some shit off your chest, I'm already taking enough heat. I'll shit on his chest. God damn right I will, Deucey. But yeah, so it's just the way it is in the biz world. It's just hard for an old school carny journeyman wrestler to switch of work in everybody's mind to this has to be done. No ifs, ands, or buts. And I hope you guys enjoy any road construction projects, flowers, because old Hack's paying for them. But you guys can come enjoy flowers at Ravens Joint. I got some great flowers for you.
Those pothole fills are on the pothead over here.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly, dude. But it's an amazing industry to be in. So it was a big Saturday at the joint. One of my employees fell ill, and I was just in the vault, which is the vault windowless, like locked down and pulling product. I worked a 15-hour day, so I was just ass kicked, And then yesterday was doing other HMG business and writing contracts and stuff. And here we are today. So I'm right before my anniversary vacation. So looking forward to wrapping up this week, with you. And then Maddie will have a guest on. I'm not sure if it's going to be Pierce. I told him reach out to Strangler Steve, reach out to Timmy Baltimore, whatever whatever you guys want to do. So
I know who it is, but I'm going to keep it under wraps for a big surprise.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, all those guys are absolutely open door welcome. Jimmy Corderas, whoever, and then I've already been getting feedback from being on K100 with Conan and Disco. And, it got hot there with the Russo brand fanatics and the K100 trolls and with Disco and Vince. And I kind of got bandied around and there's a name where people are like, it always is this where Conan will innocently ask, well, does Ben agree with him? Disco, yes, he does. And a lot of times he's not wrong, but I just get lumped in and thrown in, which really is an honor to even have my name mentioned by the top creatives, to be respected.
Real quick, Ben. Let's go back to, you're in Chicago, cut your teeth up there. Even before OVW, you're watching wrestling. You're thinking about, man, I'd love to be a part of this. Did that young Ben Hameen? I mean, think about imagine that you'd be sitting there cutting it up one day with Disco Inferno, K-Dog, and Vince Russo.
Yeah, it's incredible. But even back, when I was in college, your mom goes to college. We were doing Random Acts, and that was a show that shaped a lot of our lives because, like I said, I've said before, my friend Marissa Panessa, who owns Panessa Talent, and she manages people on Saturday Night Live and all your favorite, SVU shows, all that shit. Not shit, but she kind of paved the way and brought me out there. Then I brought out 5 other people, and Nice Peter, who's an unbelievable talent with Epic Rap Battles of History. They just posted there in the studio. And, I've always just known to keep the group strong and to create art with others. That's why I call it Hameen Media
Group.
Sure, the work I'm doing as the foundation that set a standard, hopefully, of honesty, excellence, and virtue, whatever that means to each individual, and tell people yes and yes they can. So here we are with it. And would I have thought about it then? I kind of spoke it, whatever you believe, into existence. I remember saying I'd love to be the next Vince Russo. This is back in '97 when I was working on my buddy Hooch's comedy album. We're doing Random Acts. We were going to November to Remember, and that's where I met Sal for the first time as a fan, and he's a talent, and cutting promos, and him and Balls Mahoney and Spike Dudley, who I'd later work with in 2CW, who's the grandfather of 2CW. So everything's always had this weird wrestling-based, comedy-based, entertainment-based synergy of what I wanted to do, but I knew I needed a degree in something that was going to pay the bills, like media arts. So I made good money as a young man in Chicago, working for Creative Circle, and I would work at wherever, DDB, Leo Burnett, DDB Tribal a lot of times, and even smaller places. But I was working on stuff for Carnival Cruise Lines or Corona Beer or Flair Agency, a lot of big things, or just projects for multi-billionaire CEOs in their presentation room. Like I worked this place, Quicksilver, and this place that owned all these hotels all over the world, putting all this shit together for them. Like they're just paying tens of thousands of dollars to these agencies for me to sit there and make advanced PowerPoints and shit for them. So it was an awesome time. And then I did this show with Jordan Klepper from The Daily Show. And I was doing lucha character because they wanted me on the show as that, because they knew I'm a wrestling nut. and Ed Ferraro is on, and he told me to go to OVW, young man, if you want to
Wow.
really, yeah. So like that, my journey, and right before that was fucking the Andy Dick incident, you know. So I was around everybody from Saturday Night Live already, like Amy Poehler and Tim Meadows, whoever was in town, Dave Keckner. So Adam McKay, who I wish I could have spent more time with him, and that would have possibly changed my life. I think about that because there was a time where I'd just be sitting at the bar and Adam McKay is like 5 feet from me, 20 nights maybe over the course of 4 years. Like I really could have, if I knew where he was going, who knows where I'd be in the acting and entertainment world right now. So it's all about who you surround yourself with and the mentors you seek out to find, and you humble yourself and you learn the craft by watching them and practicing it yourself until they respect you as one of their equals. And when I get a chance to do K100 and that, even though the marks are like, who the fuck is he? The locker room doesn't give a shit. Like, I don't need any fan edification. when guys that I never got to work with respect me for that, or I try and stay humble when I get a chance to co-host alongside of Jimmy Corderas or Conan and Disco, so, or Renee or whoever, or Vince and Stevie. Absolutely. You know, I think it just to me makes me feel like, all right, I finally know who I am and others know who I am, and that regardless if I was there fucking writing Great Balls of Fire or whatever the fuck, all the guys who were, speak positively about me, I guess. And that's just an ego stroke at the end of the day. It's only phony wrestling, but I put a lot of time in to get to that point of like, all right, I'm not just faking it to make it, I guess. Yeah.
The wrestling's phony, but the grind is real. So over the chat, they're kind of asking where they can get the, your conversation over on.
I think it just dropped on Patreon. I think it just dropped.
Hughley just saying it is cut up. I know they do have it on YouTube, so you can go check out their YouTube over there. It's cut up into a couple pieces. I think 2 pieces, he said. So it is there. It's a great conversation.
Yeah, it's an honor. It's an honor, man, to be able to talk creatively with guys who, have made some of the best moments and swam with the biggest sharks.
Well, you come a long way since 97, Ben. In 97, I was booking my role play fantasy wrestling league. It just sucks that my dad's not a billionaire. I could be in a completely different place myself.
You could be.
I had some bangers, brother. I had some bangers on my AOL group there. So
it's just weird. And thank you for letting me go on there. But I think about going back to the Capitol Theater where I grew up and where I live near now, and doing Rising Stars for my whole career and all that summer stage with all those actors, and Raymond Kester being my first mentor, and then off to Fredonia, Random Acts being such an incredible crew with so many people, and that show is still going on, that it was started there by Law Torello, and that was 96, 97, and it's still going. That's a student show. That shows you the power of that group mind and improv and legacy. Even though the kids are way woke, we might not agree, I'm still proud that I was an originator. And then to Improv Olympic in Second City in Chicago, to OVW, to 2CW, to Hameen Media and WrestleZone. And now, the evolution of that is this. And it's been a fun journey to work all these indies and do all that shit, man.
I've actually had this thought, because you do regularly get it. And it's, who's this guy? What has he done? Who's he worked with? He hasn't booked at that top level or something. I've thought about that, to just take, the mystery wrestler kind of silhouette and just line up like your resume and be like, hey, would you trust this guy with your creative, with your business inside of wrestling, and see what people would say just looking at the resume instead of saying, just trying to dismiss what you've accomplished, what you've given, what you've learned and earned in wrestling, just with a visual.
That's fine. I mean, has anybody on the Raw creative staff played the ass end of the dancing cow in Gypsy? So And has any of them worked with, put on major shows with the top lumberjacks in the world? Hot modified chainsaws 5 feet from your fucking head, like I just can do you know how to use a compass? I guess I could put a lot of things up there, like
I think it's a good point with it. Kind of go back, what I was talking about my grandfather. At that end of the day, it really what it's about. Can you look in the mirror yourself and know that you accomplished this? You did
sure.
everything that you could.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is living life to the fullest, carpe diem, whatever you subscribe to. So enough stroking my ego and resume.
Yeah.
It's fucking
Hey, if
nothing.
you got some time, I want to talk about my raise and my yearly evaluation that's coming up. I guess let's switch some gears here because there is a number of directions, as I said, that I want to talk about. Not necessarily WrestlePalooza. I know those in the bubble, they want to break down the show and, oh my God, ESPN gave them a C rating. We'll talk about that in a moment. But as we regularly do in our locker room, I'm more intrigued in the business side of this new partnership, and what we're seeing unfold here is the debut is coming past. The relationship has been consummated, if you will. But I want to talk to you first about the app itself, because there's a lot of questions that I have now looking at this thing, and I think are kind of interesting when we deep dive into the partnership between the two brands. My first pick, if you get to check, I mean, this thing, they sell it as, and I'll admit, I bet like, man, this seems like an amazing deal. I can go get my entire sports world under one hub. Everything's going to be available under that ESPN banner, the worldwide leader in sports. When you actually break this down and get in there, they've got a lot of a la carte flavors on that menu. But essentially, this thing is an ESPN 3. They don't have enough exclusive with the NFL. They don't have enough exclusive with the NBA. They don't have enough exclusive with the NHL. So all the heavy hitters, they're there, but they're just kind of sprinkled in a little bit. They don't have, you can get you can get them with some of the other distribution rights. So essentially they're hanging their hats on the SEC, select college football. I got some other mids in there. International sports, WNBA, soccer, things like that. TKO took away UFC. I'm interested in how you think they sold WWE to get in there. But why in the world did ESPN even launch this thing when we see so many other streaming services falling short and now starting to merge together?
Oh, that's an interesting question. Absolutely. And now after their first pay-per-view, after they paid $1.5 billion, they rated a C out of the gate. What have I been saying about the people at the top are great at selling a bad bill of goods, a lemon car over and over and over again, promising the moon and delivering nothing, next to nothing. 5 million on Raw and Netflix, and we're down to 1.14. With the same thing with USA, same thing with Fox. And here we are already in the very first outing. The show booked incorrectly in order to keep people watching, and just lackluster self-serving segments, very strange segments. So they've sold it again. And why would ESPN want that in entertainment? And you're talking about conglomeration and carte blanche app, the illusion of choice, where you're actually making micro payments in the app based on what your tastes are. You know what I mean? Like maybe you're just a big women's volleyball fan or whatever, and all the other stuff. But the reality is it will end up costing more because the micro payments mean less. You know what I mean? You don't feel it as much. So there is a method to the madness in the marketing of it, but it also could be for a bigger thing when they sell out all of it. Now we say we have an app, and on that app is XYZ content in a library where it all goes. So you're building equity that way for a possible merger or sale. So you can say we have this branch and this is our reach into the app market competitive with this, and look at how many fans have subscribed and what the crossover is across all of our platforms underneath our corporate umbrella. And then they merge together and get an extra $2-3 billion because of it. So there's a lot of reasons from the corporate boardroom side to structure and expand and spend that money because they don't really care if the product sucks. It has a value of 1.5 billion automatically, right? Your app in-house might have cost you 200,000 to build, and you already have these things that you're going to put on there that you have a contract with. Cornhole fucking is free, the Cornhole World Championships, right? Like on ESPN. But NBA, NFL, MLB is going to charge you based on if you're just a Cubs fan and a Bears fan, and they've got that exclusivity and they want to capture you there. But with WWE, it automatically makes that app, okay, now it's worth 1.5 billion. And then when we add this in, what we pay them, now it's worth that and worth that. So when it does come time to merge, you can justify on paper why the sale is 60 billion instead of 40 billion.
But also inside it, you mentioned those other sports leagues. They had gone into that business where, the NFL, NBA, MLB, where they launched their own networks. They tried their own apps. They found out, and much like WWE followed suit, they saw, we regularly hear concept. We looked to the NFL where WWE tried their own network. They found out real quick that there was more money to be made in distributing your product than trying to house it yourself and harness, that one hub for everyone to come under. In the NFL, you need access to
there's only
platforms.
There is only one hub for everybody to come under. Oh, got him, pal. Talking about Pornhub.
Yeah, the hub, baby. So you mentioned you're going back to that booking again. These executives and TKO, what they sold to ESPN has nothing to do with that. I don't think. I think it's more, they came in and said, okay, we are taking UFC out of here, but we have this other product available for you. This product that looks similar. It has all of the pomp and circumstance. It has the big event feel. We go over and take over these cities internationally for 3 to 4 days, and we are drawing massive gates. You're going to wait till you see this crowd interaction. Wait till you see this presentation, this production. But it's not quite combat sport. They might not have understood what wrestling was. And I think a lot of what we got at WrestlePalooza creative-wise was intended that way so that it looked a little bit more like an actual sport instead of the over-the-top storylines, things like that in professional wrestling. I think they intentionally scaled back. They gave us exactly what they wanted to give us to satisfy the ESPN heads at WrestlePalooza.
Weren't we told there's going to be big surprises and shit? That's what he said about WrestlePalooza. What was the big surprise? That Paul Heyman introduced Brock?
Maybe that have been the surprise to the network executive. They've come right out and told us that the wrestling quote unquote fan doesn't really matter anymore. We're being priced out. That this thing is evolving. They want to go to a higher level of a fan is a buzzword. We are just consumers to them. They're trying to upgrade their consumer class. They were more worried about who can they bring in from the wrestling bubble, as opposed, that's what they're least worried about. More worried about who can we satisfy and pull in from the already existing ESPN.
I like the way your mind is, but that's not where it is. Like of what it is. That's like a B or C level look at it. And I'm not saying intelligence wise. You're talking about fans that are there, converting them to an app and still getting there, plus higher ticket prices, plus more marketing and commercial money, right? All that's great. What's bigger? Untapped markets. What are the untapped markets?
That market that they're going for, I'm saying, is the ones that are looking at the other sports.
Riyadh season.
Oh, yeah.
Asia season.
Those are your international player. I'm talking about specifically with this app deal, with the ESPN.
Right. But that's why I think UFC is being used as a vehicle for that, to take Dagestani guys, Chinese guys, all of them, you know what I mean, and make stars out of them internationally. Yeah. WWE is filler entertainment content, with bullshit, because they're gonna try and recap Becky and Seth and fucking AJ and CM Punk, and it was atrocious. That the strikes were atrocious, the spots were stupid. Everybody looks like a goof waiting to get their spot in, and it's phony as shit. Meanwhile, we're watching the Eagles make a true to life comeback, and it's just like you're supposed to put those two things side by side and think they're going to work. No, it's all a used car salesman shill selling a C-level product and charging a premium price for it. And that's fine, because having it on the books can increase value when we're looking for a big buyer who's next. There's always a bigger fish coming that we're trying to hook. And the Saudis and Dubai and fucking China and India are all untapped markets. We've already pimped out Europe and UK. USA is fried, and the people don't have money to keep spending like that. They're not worried about selling a guy 5 cars over 25 years. They're worrying about selling 1 car and burn town with an extra 20% of 80% profit. And that's a business model. Is a fuck you model. Yeah. Welcome to the carny world. Welcome to throat cutters. And maybe that old model of building a 25-year fan doesn't exist anymore. It's quick money fast, because maybe they know a comet's incoming and there's only so much time to rape and pillage. Who knows? But that's the emerging markets is a bigger monetary conversation than inside the app. However, one does relate to the other.
Yeah, I think, it's one of the things there, obviously, as, wrestling goers, fans, and we focus on that. I think there is a much wider scope here at play that, what is going to count as a success. Yeah. Did you, I know you're so busy up there at the shop. Did you get to see any of the clips throughout the week of the crossover promotion hyping this thing up? Obviously, the big one out there, Stephen A. Smith naming like Goldberg the number one wrestler.
Oh, dude, why would you flop? Why would you allow that to happen? Like, why would you let Steven, Triple H is going to be there. The internet's going to go off. I'm sure they got wrestling nerds at ESPN. No one's going to run that copy by him and go, yeah, Triple H is going to love that when you fucking just bring up the guy as number one who just had his fucking go home. They cut him early and shit all over him, and then he shit on them the next day. Yeah, what's Game supposed to do? Like, is somebody messing with him that way? Or
I was going to say, or was that the intent, to stir that pot? Or
I don't think it is. I think that's exposure of ignorance. Of people say these brands, ESPN, WWE, or Netflix. I've said this about incompetence at the executive level. And people who have these jobs are just looking for the next title to move up to. They don't really have a passion for what they're doing. It's a placeholder until somebody above you takes a bullet and fails upwards and gets moved, and then you move into that spot and you go from a fucking Honda Accord to your first BMW. That's all any of these assholes really want. And when you have people like that in those positions, this is the type of stuff that gets on air.
And they went heavy on it. It started Monday. They ran all the shows. They were on SportsCenter, First Take, Pat Mack, all of that there. I would say probably 80% of it was just cringe-worthy material where you kind of sat back and it was like, man, the dream, the vision for WWE, they've always wanted to be accepted into that main sports world, something like ESPN. But it was this feeling like this doesn't mesh well together.
Dude, everything is, let's break it down weird. On them, on Triple C. The show starts. Forget about even the Stephen A. Smith fucking ribs, all that. Car pulls up to the arena. Who is it?
Gets out.
It's Triple H and fucking cool guy leather, and I'm the executive producers here. Really, the executive producer is pulling up 10 minutes before the show starts. That's what the executive producer does there.
Yeah.
When I executive produce there, I'm 6 hours before, and I've already gone through the show with everybody twice.
Last night during your Giants and Chiefs game on primetime, you didn't see where they showed Roger Goodell showing up right at kickoff to get out of his limousine and make the walk.
It seemed like it. So that's ridiculous. Then we roll the Palooza footage of this is the final evolution of wrestling, is it? Because I feel like I'm watching the de-evolution of wrestling. I'm around the backside of the mountain. Who's got the voiceover in the fucking video package? Game on. What do we do later? Bring my wife out and have her sit at ringside for no reason whatsoever. And we can have Undertaker come out on a bike after we've already had him looking like he's in a hostage situation that he's going to have to go work Riyadh season. Then we go from American Badass to American Podcast, where we're sitting there at ringside thinking we're over and going, hey, everybody watches Steph's Place and everybody watches Undertaker 6 Feet Under or whatever the fuck his thing's called. We're podcasters now. I'm Comedy Undertaker. And guess what? You're in the Hall of Fame. So now Taker is the one that makes the call on who's in the Hall of Fame. And Steph does her big bunny fucking smile face. And isn't he like a big brother to her? And then cut to the back for Unreal with Triple H wiping away a tear. Got her. What a surprise. Yeah. Oh, such a surprise that Steph, go down and sit at ringside. You're just like, it's ridiculous how far in the bubble it is and that they still need to be self-serving. This would be, if you want to say you're making a great show, how many times does Martin Scorsese appear in Goodfellas to open the movie, to do the voiceover, to fucking stop and praise? You're going to get an Academy Award for this. Like, what is in these people's mind who are making a show thinking this is the way to do things? And then the actual show itself opens with Brock Lesnar and John Cena, the two biggest draws on the show, without a doubt. Give them to them up front so people can stop watching? What? What kind of dumbass decision is that, bro? That is beyond fucking Special Olympics level booking. That these guys get to go on first instead of having an inciting incident and maybe hurting John and have him come back from underneath. Instead, it's heels over strong after you just did the entrance with the little kids all dressed like you. Brock Lesnar fucking eat your lunch. Oh, on your retirement tour, you just got jobbed out from underneath, dude. Like, how are these things happening? Like, that's not a C show. That's an F- choice to put them in the first slot and have heels go over. People just got to the show. The first spot is reserved for baby faces to go over and show wrestling and establish wrestling. So later in the show, when heels cheat, it means 10 times more because the psychology of established wrestling and rules in the very opener is what we need to do for the bigger aspect of the show. In that, people are ready to pop and cheer, and you want to get them hyped and up. So you have baby faces up in the opener. So now you just stomped out this fucking guy in front of kids, and heels are up, and there's no continuation business right there. F-, bro. See? That's them protecting their own interest. That is the dumbest call in booking I've seen since we pivoted on SmackDown to turn John Cena babyface in a promo that was meaningless after we had our thumb up our ass for 6 months trying to do, we turned him heel with no roadmap to the end for redemption, because that story takes 2 years after you turn him heel to redeem him and send him off as a babyface. So the count is off. The amount of shows he's probably going to do is off. His hometown send-off got rebooked to DC, and nothing means nothing. And that all comes down to the guy who shows up 10 minutes before the show and whose name rolls over the fucking ending credits. Unbelievable how stupid that was.
You know, I've had some counterpoints to want to play devil's advocate there, but really useless to do. I mean, I think you laid it out perfectly there from the booking standpoint. And And even from that business, if you want it, going back to what I was talking about, if you wanted to hook people to bring them in, like you said, give us a story throughout, building to that main event with the two guys that if you want to build this, hey, we're right up there with every big sport. These are the two guys that look it. These are the two guys that shine like the biggest stars in the world. Make sure you stick around till the end to see these guys throw down, but they give it away there. The way you laid it out, there's no dispute. There's no dispute.
What else is there to watch? Hey, everybody in the locker room, have fun following Brock and John, especially after we left our audience head scratching. Now, somebody go out there and get a pop. We just blew the biggest pop on the show, which is the opening baby face over and what we should be building toward at the end.
Kind of tying into what you had talked about over with Disco and Conan, what you've been talking about here a couple weeks. I mean, why not open this damn thing? You want that big visual. Obviously, that's what they're selling with Brock and Cena. We're bringing out our two big stars. This looks like sports. That's what they pitched, probably. That's what they're going to make as an excuse. Why not come out with the grandest entrance in all of sports that we see from, all these other colleges, all these pro teams that come out with these big entrances? Why not start with the Yeet? Have that.
100% should
put the Usos over where LA Knight helps him. So now your Slim Jim baby faces are standing together strong. So now you got a good sponsor endorsement right there. Maybe you got the vision through the tables with the Slim Jim things on it as the Usos and Knight all stand tall. Now we're excited. We're energized for this show. And by the way, main event, we got two of the baddest names ever going to throw down and destroy each other. Make sure you stick around.
Their whole thing is you're at a rap concert and you want to throw your hands in the air like you don't care, right? And that's where all the energy, people are in there waiting for the show to kick off. They all want to be a part of the show. You feed that fire and draw them in, dude. So
you don't send Flavor Flav out at the end of the show or in the middle of it. He goes out first.
He's the hype man, bro.
He goes out to get everybody excited.
Exactly. And great point, but now that's all imaginary of what should have happened and how it should have been booked. There are bigger things going on backstage, especially if the boys are seeing Triple H get the opening shot, do the voiceover. Now they're just waiting. They're waiting to go, this is the guy who got rid of Killer Cross, and now he's getting ribbed with a Goldberg fucking thing on ESPN. He is putting his wife in the Hall of Fame. Taker put his wife in the Hall of Fame. What? Name one Michelle McCool moment, dude. There isn't any. It's unbelievable. It's brutal. It's fucking brutal with these top X legends that are doing what they want, and TKO doesn't care. They're just milking the product. So I hate to say this, but I'm almost excited for the end at the Russo brand of having to watch this shit because my time could be much better spent. But that being said, we don't have any reason why the John Cena turn stopped and didn't happen, which means there's heat with The Rock. You're not going to see what's his nuts, Travis Scott again, probably. All that went to shit after on Unreal. They put themselves over and every way they could. Then what really did happen in that match is a lot of pre-planned bullshit with people out of spots. And now heat is leaking over to what's going on in the ring.
Where they're yelling at each other. Yeah, you pointed out.
This is a shoot right here. Let me see if I can get him. You're fucking up. You're fucking up. You should have been over there, motherfucker, because Bronson Reed was supposed to pull him out. So now he's got to go over here. Bronson Reed's going to do a jump up. And then
I noticed something else real quick in there is last week we got that great 101 insight in there as they're yelling back and forth with each other. He is real quick, heavy on that earpiece. So he's probably catching something else from the backside. Yeah. I mean, he's adjusting it real close there.
Then we got this right afterwards because now the spot's fucked up. So he was probably supposed to pull him out there so they could be face to face. And then Yeet will get up. So now we're back on track. Come on, catch. We're doing gimmicks. Maybe it was. Get in the ring. Now don't get in the ring, he says. Don't, because the chair hasn't come in. So he's flustered. They're hot at each other. Like now he's just going in. Like even the way he's looking at him right there is like, fuck you, motherfucker. You fucked this all up.
Seemed like a real lazy roll in as well.
Yeah, exactly. When he rolls in, he's not looking he's looking right at him like, you fucked this whole spot up. This was my big shine and to fire him up, dude. I don't know if fans see that or they think it's just reaction. That's shoot. That is, I've been in one match. I've been in two matches. One time it wasn't on me at all. And to be honest with you, it was a 6-man with Hacksaw. Hacksaw got pissed at fucking Dewey and started shooting and fucking calling him dumb fuck. I had never seen anything like it, especially the Hacksaw is so nice. He was hot that night. And then my match with Tyler Turvo, where it just went to complete shit and I wanted it to be great and it just was not good and it was my fault. And Turvo just flipped in the ring, bro. And it still haunts me. That right there, everybody in Gorilla is seeing that how I see it. And fucking so are the boys. And the fact that Jey Uso would snap like that in the ring means he's at his wit's end with LA Knight for one reason or another, politicking to get his way, how the Sharks operate. You know what I mean? And that is, it's pretty unprofessional, to be honest with you, to be breaking kayfabe like that. If like a guy's out of position, go, you're fucking up. You're supposed to be over there. Like he's not saying because he was supposed to pull you, but that's what was supposed to happen. But I don't think fans understand or watch with a critical eye when that happens. But I'm going, this tells a bigger tale of the true temperature of the locker room right now.
I mean, I'll be honest with you.
And nobody's talking about that.
Watching that from the fan perspective, it's they're playing up the heat between them that we've seen.
That's a shoot right there, dog.
So all right, so we mentioned the
LA Knight fucked up the spot. And even at the end, LA Knight, you can see he's like, well, that was trash and I'm fucked and we're about to go back there and have it out. Like I can just see in the performers themselves of.
Well, I was going to ask you so what happens when we get through the curtain? We also, though, in that match, Jay seemingly, he's gushing blood. If he got himself, if it was an incident with the chair or whatever there, but it seemed like they hurried home on that finish.
Yeah, I think a lot of things got fucked up by trying to plan out spots and a guy who's a referee who's out of, supposed to be where he wasn't. Yeah, I'm sure LA Knight did F up that spot, but Jay's reaction to that does not give a booker and a top dog confidence in Jay anymore. You know what I mean? It shows that he's breaking the illusion to heat on him. And, that's when Hayes and Bruce look at each other and go, fuck, we got problems. You know what I mean? And really what would happen when they come back is that what I would envision is Uso's hot. He's got color. I don't know if that was supposed to be or not, if he got hard weighed. But LA Knight would probably come back, walk to the back to wait for him, and fucking Uso just probably walk right by him, peeling his wrist tape off, get cleaned up, stay small, don't say nothing, go sit and be like, I'm sorry, bro. I was out of like, what the fuck? And then just let him go off. And you got to blow off steam. And because tomorrow night we got to do something else in this storyline. Get your shit together and fucking stop going into biz for yourself and fucking where I need you to be. Like you have a serious and stiff conversation or you don't. And if fucking the heat boils over and it boils more and then the top fucking brass test you and then you fucking lose your smile and you, whatever, dude. Like I'm seeing things based on storyline changes, no Rock, no Travis Scott, people going to do side projects, Usos getting put back together, no Team Slim Jim, now breaking in the ring, and who knows what else backstage is getting shit stirred. And this is probably started long. Well, I mean, it's always been this way, but when Killer Cross was gone, I like that. To me, that was like all right, we've pinnacled after WrestleMania. Now all this weird heat is happening, and everybody who comes back, like AJ Lee, absolutely rotten in the ring, the terrible punches, just fucking terrible. But today we get it's so welcoming and refreshing to be back, and everybody's so nice, and da 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 da. I go, yeah, I remember when fucking Ronda Rousey was saying the exact same thing, and now fucking people are like, Ronda Rousey never should be around our business ever again, dude. So we just go through these worker moments of I came back and it's all sunshine up my ass and whatever else. Yeah, give me sunshine up my ass, dudes. And the match is abhorrent. It's stupid, and it's for nobody that is watching to be like, oh, is he gonna slam Becky? Oh, Becky got a sharpshooter on Punk. Like, I'm watching the worst wrestling. Absolutely abhorrent level of writing, psychology, and how we do these things, dude. Like, and they're expected, and they're in the bubble going, we're over as fuck. Sports Illustrated said we're this. Well, guess what? ESPN said you suck. And so do I.
Hold on, after we wrap this up, I do want to ask you about the ESPN rating. Let's go to that mixed tag match. You mentioned that. Funny stat that was out there that even during her run 10 years ago, this was the longest match she's ever been involved in, AJ Lee. It's like 29 minutes, but she spends 20 minutes on the apron.
Oh, she's got the hot tag.
We're waiting for the hot tag moment. We're waiting for that pop. That's the big moment for that crowd there. But
sorry, let me stop.
It takes forever. So how should that match?
Who's saying that they went 29 minutes to start with?
I just saw a meme on it.
Oh, okay. Well, I was like, if they're saying that out in front of like going, I pulled 29 minutes last night. Yeah, I don't remember one of them. Like, okay, so whatever. Yeah, the hot tag is for her. But it's mainly got to be Punk gets a shine in the beginning on Seth till Becky fucking pulls the rope or does something, and Punk eats shit, squares off with him. Seth gets on top while she distracts. Heat, throw him back in, fucking more heat on him, stomping him down, breaking him down. Tag to Becky, come in, double leg crotch splitter, whatever it is. Becky and Seth need to work tandem, not get each other's finishers in, not the ironic, he got that on him, so they kicked out, so we're going to use their thing, and you kick out because it's like, dude, rotten. It should have been husband and wife heat with Punk down trying to get the hot tag. Instead, Becky comes in and is supposed to be badass and throws these stupid strikes, and it's, whoa, and catch my kick till I finally tag. And I get in and skip around like an idiot and fucking Luthez press you and throw some tippy top fucking shots on your head that are business exposing bad. And we're all supposed to be going, yay, she's back. I'm going, yay, she's as rotten as she was back then. And I didn't give a shit back then. And I'm supposed to go, this is good. It should have been the husband and wife working double heat on the fucking baby face. The match should have been 14 minutes tops.
It was 29 minutes.
Not false comebacks and fucking cut off. You work a couple fucking false tags and double heat. That's it. Hot tag, Luthez press, 1, 2, 3, 4. Fucking come back in, double go to sleeps, and fucking Becky comes back off, hit her with the fucking octopus shit, and he hits him with the octopus. They both tap out at the same time. Like, and she's not standing there for 20 minutes like a complete fool. And so we can go, we pulled a half hour last night because we're over.
That's the other thing.
Dude, I can get over in 6 minutes. Why would you want to go more?
With the skipping and all that and the body language, the visual, she's supposed to be a crazy chick, right? But now she's going to abide by the things because she has a tag rope. Why wouldn't she just go? Everything we've seen, they want us to think about her. Wouldn't it just be on site?
It's terrible, bro. Everybody involved with it is fucking delusional of where they think they are and that they're great, and because of their little monikers and because the marketing machine got behind them. When it comes to promo time, when it comes to actually telling any story properly of neighbors who hate each other, my wife hates your bitch wife.
A very relatable story to a lot of people.
No, right. Like, no, we can't tell it like that. We fucking, I've beaten everyone. I've beaten everyone. I've beaten everyone. AJ Lee. Oh my God, it's AJ Lee. Like, dude, just this is fucking terrible. It's worse than Disney on Ice. And I'm supposed to like best in the world, friendship bracelet storyline. Okay.
Well, then I'm sure going to be much more positive as we head north for the 7+ hour marathon. That was AEW's All Out. Any like the big talking points you want to hit with Tony Khan and his crew up there?
I know my business partner went up there to try and start conversations with certain entertainment, and I was told it went well. So
Whoa,
we
a
shall
wiggy
see.
there.
Yeah. As far as Tony's show goes, I didn't really watch a lot any really at all. So I had watched Dynamite because K100 was reviewing it, and one thing I did see was he's terrible again. They have to be autistic adults, and that's fine. Like the way they're responding to Jack Perry being back, and then Luchasaurus comes back. I don't know if you saw this super fucking.
I saw the
I almost want to interview. I almost want to
thing.
interview them. I almost want to be like, I
yeah.
really need to get into the headspace of how are they reacting this way, because it can't be a work, but at the same time, it's like, what conditioned you to get to this point? It's interesting to me. They seem like humans in a mental facility that were operantly conditioned to go chase cheese down a hallway or something. You know what I mean? Of whatever the stimulus was in order to be able to do that. It's crazy. But I had said on K100, I believe, that there's way more money on, maybe it was Friday Locker Room, on Luchasaurus than there is on Kill Switch, a stupid change. And here we are, right back to it. And
it's
listening
not to your audience. They're chanting Luchasaurus. That's who they want. And they just continue to try to push it for their narrative there.
Yeah. And, like it's things like that make me go, okay, we're at least in the parallel mindset of like, this isn't working. Let's make a switch and go back. Not that I'm a big Luchasaurus Jungle Boy fan, but like, hey, like we got to pivot, and wrestling's ever changing and evolving. And if that's what they both need right now in order to be refreshed, so be it. So,
what's the nostalgia? What's old is new. Get that pop, refresh them. Here's an idea. You had a 7-hour show, 13 matches, over 60 wrestlers and managers. Where the hell are the Outrunners? How you could bring back the Jurassic Express, put them with the Outrunners, help get over again.
I would agree with that fully. Like, let them go to the tag thing and do some great bits and some funny ha-ha and like
do some PR stuff to help grow the brand with them.
Yeah, Outrunners can help anybody. Those guys are, I have immeasurable faith in their creativity and ability to work in the ring on the fly. And I like Hurt Business, and I thought Ricochet and his crew did a good job. And I didn't really watch any of the main event stuff, but I guess Kyle Fletcher went over to spite Stevie, so he should thank Stevie.
Did he? No, Hangman won.
Hangman won? Oh, yeah. I thought he went over. See, I didn't know. Nor do I really care. I mean, like, what it comes down to is Khan gonna really do this WrestleCon thing and take the shots that he needs to and stop doing this New Japan mark out style and appeal to the families how they need to. I saw the pre-produced piece with Toni Storm, and it was very 1970s, film introduction with the three women who were kind of gunning for a title. I thought that was done brilliantly well. I thought that was great production. I don't like that we're already at the 70s, even though she is still playing silver screen. I'm down with. What's his name from Hey You? The dude who's helping write there. Kind of flamboyant dude.
RJ.
RJ. I think that guy is a brilliant mind, dude. If like he's the one putting all that together, he's good artists create great artists, steal and make it their own. I think if he's the one influencing that, then it is. And I even saw her say that she's pitched a lot of stuff that was too risque, and she gets shot down, her creative, and it gets dialed back. And I'd like to see what that is, because I think RJ is probably a lead there, but she's married to
Juice.
Yeah, Juice Robinson, who I also think is a super creative guy in this business. It's probably underrated. And then I watch his performances, and it's the little nuances that I'm like, this guy is it, So she's probably got a lot of good people to bounce things off of and take cues from. But I still think we hadn't even scratched the surface. And that's another thing where we were talking about it in October, and it took 3 months for them to implement the production cues that we put out in the locker room of like, when you launch a character, it's important to have all these things in place, to not like, oh, we found it along the way. No, we really need to have pre-production meetings, a strategy when we turn John Cena heel, how we're going to get him back to the good side at the end. But they just start down these roads with no roadmap to success a lot of times. Thankfully, Toni Storm is a brilliant, brilliant performer and can carry any fucking level of anything you want to give to her, really. And I like that she recently said, and this is a pun intended, that she's willing to show ass, that she wants to be embarrassed, not just show bare ass, but like she wants to be the punchline. She wants to be the fool, and there isn't anything she won't do or depths she won't go to. That's an interesting game to play out. You know what I mean? And where we can go, and what her bravery is to follow the fear. People, that's what makes us have all of our issues, is that we're afraid of looking like a fool in front of others, right?
Yeah.
And out of that spins everything.
And those insecurities hold so many back in the business.
Exactly. And she is conquering those and making her weakness into her strength. That's why she's on another level, probably over every performer in wrestling right now. Dominic Mysterio is still really young, but there's a lot that he's doing to keep the Eddie Guerrero stuff subliminally intact. And that's not an easy thing to do. It's more than just a shoulder shake and three
amigos, what everybody else tries to do.
Right.
He's got those subtle things that like you said, a good artist creates a great artist, steals and makes it their own.
Yes. And like he's playing off of, since he was 10 years old, all of that is canon. It's the backstory of where it is. And you can easily just go, I'm raised kid and I'm over. No, there's always little subtleties in the bread trail crumb along the way, right? To get us there. And we can always circle back. And when you make a reference that's from way in the beginning, the audience at home feels elated because they've been following that level all the way along, like real watchers. Sure, there's going to be new people in and out. Breadcrumb trail. Thank you. Fucking A. My head fucking exploded there. But he can do it, and she can take from everybody, from Marilyn Monroe to all the silver screen chicks,
Well, it's going to be interesting to see the direction they go with her creatively, because she did drop the belt this past weekend. So she's kind of free of those reins. So she can kind of do some other things. She can be over on her own.
Who are belts for?
People can't get over with character.
What can she do better than anybody else?
Get over with that character.
Belts don't mean fuck all.
She'll be fine. She'll be fine without it. They can do something else. She actually, it might have been holding her back.
Yeah. To lose the belt gives you the opportunity to do what?
You have the personal journey back to it, or
you react. And how are you going to react? Now we're talking about the id of the emotion of the scenes of how your character reacts. And if it's anger, if there's, you're going to be going through it. There's 7 stages of grief,
who fall from fame and will do anything to get that spotlight back. That's what you're going to talk about. She'll go out there and make the fool of herself to try to, that you remember, that you still know her, that her star still has its shine.
Or she maybe she becomes militant, shaves her head, becomes like G.I. Jane. Like there's a lot of ways to take it.
Spears shaved her head when she lost that fame.
There's a lot of ways to take it, bro. You could go crazy her. You could go Katharine Hepburn, woe is me, sad her. You know what I mean? Like there's a a lot of ways to go. Like, yeah, she's out on the edge of some 1940s, building ready to jump, and a little bird lands on her shoulder and something changes. Whatever we want to do. Like, there's so many ways, but that's where we're like, all right, her losing sends an awesome trajectory if we have it, what our best option is. And I'd say, like I said, those guys around her be great to bounce those ideas off of.
She kind of threw this out there to you on Friday, and you kind of went a different direction with talking about the numbers, showing what WWE's charging and all that. He was trying to ask, I don't know if you guys went back to this. I'll throw it out there if you did, forgive me. We're talking about AEW going after, kicking them right in the numbers. We're going to be family friendly here. Do they need to clean up the product if they're going to do that?
Well, that's the thing. You have to almost take it out of Tony's hands, Tony Khan's. It has to be put into the hands of someone who knows how to make a show that's not for a niche audience, that has a runtime that is, let's get the kids that they're asking their parents to stay up an extra half hour.
Well, so we're not getting sport every show.
Right. We're not getting, we're working on characters like Luchasaurus and fun stuff. And we're not going through plate glass windows and things along those lines. So the FMW shit needs to be taken out. You can have a little hardcore, but you can't have Moxley cutting guys' ears and shit like that. Like, all that's got to go. Even thumbtack spots, really, to be honest with you. Whatever WWE's doing to some degree. And when it comes to the level of weaponry and violence,
right.
And anything, all we got to do is sell. Like, you don't have to get hit with 74 shots. You can get hit with one, and that can be enough if you sell it the right way. But, these kids come from the indies, and that's just not, that more is more, not less is more.
Vin also making some headlines this past weekend. Not Tito, not LaToya, not Reggie, not even Bo, but there was a Jackson that got arrested. Raja Jackson. Finally arrested from a few weeks ago to, maybe 6-8 weeks ago? How long ago was that shit? For his actions involved at the Knox Pro, where he assaulted Psycho Stu. I don't think there's a whole lot here yet. Just the arrest was made. I think a lot of fans are just asking about why so long.
I think the wheels of justice move very slowly, and I don't think he was public enemy number one. Like, you're worrying about him going to a liquor store and beating the fuck out of somebody, like,
it's not a threat to society or anything.
Right? He's already on the run, and he's laying low. He's not going to double down and fucking rampage kids on a rampage.
I think Rampage even said he's just sitting at home, like, we're waiting for this to happen.
Yeah, and this is. Like, we watch TV and we think fucking Law and Order, it's all going to be like that. It's not. Court cases take years, some of them, and, arrests and getting everything in place and getting statements from everybody at the indie show and reviewing tape. And sure, they could have arrested him right out of the gate. If it was small town, maybe they would have had him in the first 48 hours, but we're talking about Los Angeles here, kids.
Well, let me ask you this also with it. It's funny you say that. They're talking to the carnies, the wrestlers. They're looking at tape. If you're the LAPD, who doesn't have a great track record when it comes, they are often made to look the fool. They probably had to make sure this wasn't some kind of work, that they go out and make a false arrest and this is just some kind of wrestling stunt.
That's all part of it, right? And I'm sure TMZ called and smartened them up because you want to be there. There was a camera there for him to get walked out, and that's where it dropped, I believe, first. Mm-hmm. So, some paparazzi either that works with them and went and they paid, or else somebody got that footage, or maybe Rampage was smart enough to have some of his own people set up there that he could turn around and sell it to Harvey for $50,000 and pay his bond to get out. Are they smart enough to work the system that way? I'm not sure, but they showed him on the perp walk down the back stoop, and I don't know if Rampage has put up the money yet to get him out or not.
Oh, I say I don't think there'll be any more to this story. I know everybody was hot on it for the couple of weeks there. It'll be. I'm going to be surprised if we even see a trial here. Probably some kind of plea
Yeah,
agreement out of
no,
this
yeah.
thing. And
I don't think there needs to be one. I think that Stu's going to want to get paid. And,
that'll be the next one where there's a story when if there's any action from Psycho Stu's camp.
Yeah. So, and it's all about the lawyers waiting to see what his lawyers are going to do, and who he's lawyered up with and getting all that next phase of how to get paid in 3 different ways, probably, right? From mainly Roger Jackson family estate, secondary, the indie promotion, and third, and most important really would be WWE for being a WWID property. And you hit them with the hardest, biggest number, because then they'll settle for, ask for a crazy amount. So even when they settle, it's still a crazy amount.
Anything as we relate this back to WWE, we were talking earlier, obviously some frustrations with Jey Uso. Jimmy kind of been a non-factor here for a while, maybe a little heat with him. Great Naomi when she was so hot. We've seen Solo has kind of disappeared. They took that championship off him. Jacob Fatu, way cooled off. He has disappeared. Any of this still heat being caught from Rikishi and Knox?
Yeah, it could be, right? Like, people scoffed at that, but look what you just laid out there. All those guys are cooled off. Roman wasn't on this show. Wouldn't you want Roman Reigns on WrestlePalooza?
I know if I'm ESPN, I'm asking where the hell's Roman Reigns?
Exactly. So is there heat with all that and keeping them off camera to some degree and bringing Jay back down a degree to tag with Jimmy? Who do they have heat secretly because like they're pregnant? Like the creative team's like, they're pregnant. Well, there goes the 6 months we had planned for Naomi after we finally got her to where she should have been.
One of our hottest acts in the company, and
right, but you're supposed to go in and rip on a pregnant chick, but she's a fucking worker's worker. She knows that people are like that because she was probably saying the same shit when it happened with Becky and they took the title off her. Like, I get it. Women want to have families, and there's a time in their life after they've dedicated to this. I'm not trying to besmirch that, but that doesn't change the fact that this is carny ass wrestling. And if you're figured in and you in any way interrupt the push, even if you're a fetus, there's heat by association, So, yeah, man, like, it's interesting to see how cooled off the Samoans are for XYZ reasons. And maybe they're putting pressure on them to see who's going to crack, and Jay is cracking. And even on Unreal, they were kind of going hard on Jay because he comes down and does this huge rock star entrance and he's blown the fuck up, has to cut a promo, and then the bell rings and they're going, well, he was blown up 6 minutes in. Yeah, no shit, because he just did an adrenaline dump in the first fucking 4 minutes. Like, what do you like, but they're heating on him for it. You know what I mean? So it's never an easy road, and it will break a normal man in a very short amount of time, let alone being a lifetime nepotism worker who grew up in it and has seen your father's motherfuck this guy. But you know what I mean? I'm sure the Islanders were pissed at the fucking Hart Foundation enough, and those little dudes heard that shit. And like, that's just how it is, man. So fans know, but they'll never truly know of what that feels like.
Absolutely. Pitt, any other headlines you want to hit on here? Get some heat on before we head out?
Surfshark.com/Steph. Go over there and make sure you don't have the app. That's a great place to watch all the games, and you don't even need that because there's
the Hall of Fame of VPNs.
Yeah, the First Row Sports, the TV app.to. You don't need any VPN. You can just watch everything there. Why are you spending money? Take that $30, invest it in yourself, invest it in your health, invest it in something to do with your kids craft-wise and spend some quality time, or invest in a book that you've been wanting to read, and get away from your phone and the constant bullshit of these great matches that we're supposedly watching. So I think they're exposed, and I think there's going to be a lot more tear down of the Triple H era. when you just signed this huge deal and the people you signed it with said you gave them a C product out of the gate. Where do
Let
you
me
go?
ask real quick.
Where
on
do
that.
you go
I
from
did.
there?
I did want to ask you about that. I'm glad you brought that back up. Is that inside of itself maybe a work? Well, we don't want to come off as we're over boasting our tooting our own horn here. Let's hit them with a middle of the road kind of reaction and let them know that our coverage is legit.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised by it. And it is valiant. What is going on? It is valid assessment that it is a C show. I could easily be, it was a D show for all these reasons. And I already did. It was booked incorrectly. There's self-serving Triple H and Stephanie and Undertaker spots that are the things that stood out on the show. You let your draws open and you had heels go over, and so you blew the opening pop. Well, like if I was to check what takes something from an A to a B to a C, those things right there would automatically put us at a C. And then you mix in, you got guys in the ring heating on each other and fucking going off. That means backstage is not a good place to be right now. And then I didn't watch Cody, so I don't know how that really went.
It was a standard match. They did a spot where Drew missed the big kick that put Cody out. He had him set up, couldn't put Cody's head to a table again. Cody moved this time, so they're telling the story that the legs hurt, and Cody puts him down clean.
It's by OVW brothers, so I expect the work to be,
It was great. I mean, great work. It was just that they did the right business in the story.
Gotcha. So, we haven't really had much with Cody, and Drew hasn't been getting his meme shit in a ton on him, except for the "I got your ass" thing. It's just like, oh, okay. To me, it feels like those guys don't even really care about heat because they know that something ain't right in Denmark, at backstage, especially when you were in that Cena storyline and now you guys aren't doing shit and you're just facing each other because you're great workers. There's no real heat there. It's interesting. So I think it'll be interesting tonight, like to see how they counteract and try and bounce back, because I'm sure they're scrambling. If there's one thing that I've been told from workers inside WWE is that Triple H has his stooges and wants to know what the IWC thinks of how he's doing and what the look is and things along those lines. And if that is the way it is, the last 48 hours, he's trying to save face. And in his mind, maybe that'll mean more him on the show.
Yeah. Well, just, saying like more Triple H going back. I know, probably because, the college NXT last week had their homecoming. What better way to open that than 30 minutes of Triple H and Shawn Michaels putting themselves over?
Yeah, right. The NXT homecoming stuff, very strange too, of like pop for us. You know what I mean? So
I know during homecoming, I love when they just bring out the administration, the principals all come back and tell you how great they were.
Right. So, and again, that's a strange, like, ego stroke. Of course, everybody in NXT is going to be coming up to you to kiss your ass because they want to get to the main roster, right? But what's it look like with Jey Uso and Triple H right now? If that should be what I really want to see on Unreal. Jey Uso flips on LA Knight for fucking up the spot, but he's kind of breaking professional code in the ring. And now he's going to go through Gorilla like he's wounded, but is Triple H going to stand up and go, get the fuck over here? Come here now. Or is it going to be, hey, brother, like, that's not cool. We don't do that here. Like, what's it going to be, man? Like, and if it's softball, then I know that the locker room is out of order and spinning further down, And they're saying no Orton, Rhea Ripley. How hot was Rhea Ripley and cool off? And now fucking Damian Priest is nothing more than a Puerto Rican weight boss spot to go hang out at a Yankee game. Like what are we really getting guys over? Is this guy really understand what's right for creative who's got their name at the rolling credits at the end? Okay. Hey, you want to keep saying they're making the most money, they're making millions of dollars. Here's the people who just paid them billions of dollars saying this was a C shit show. And it was for a lot of reasons.
I was very surprised by that, and I think we all watch these things differently. You break it down bell to bell, more so you keep that creative side of it. I think just naturally, what I enjoy the most with it is the presentation, is the marketing side of it. Love the commentary, but I was in our live chat, so I didn't get to listen to the commentary. But I do immediately go to that marketing thing, and even if I know it's bad, I think to myself, how can I spin this that they want to make it sound good?
Well, here's the thing. Slim Jim wasn't the sponsor. Who was in the middle of the ring? Who was the main sponsor?
Papa John's was this time.
Papa John, who's had heat because of whatever racist stuff they said in the past or what have you. However, they're in the middle of the ring. Rick, what do you do every July 4th?
Well, I used to just sleep because I was so hungover for my birthday. But you party, eat, you go out, you have fun. I don't know. Fireworks.
You host the July 4th hot dog
eating contest.
Where was Tozawa, Otis? Who else is a big bastard that they could put out there that's not in a storyline?
Omos.
Somebody like where one little girl like we could have in there, Kyrie Sane or somebody, and another one. And we have the Papa John's pizza eating competition, 5-minute hog out, whatever the fuck it is. Like, make sure you're getting Papa John's tonight, but so you can compete live with Omos and whoever else.
Well, I would have done that with that as well. But hey, Rich, it's the ESPN launch. Have a party at your house. Here we got the Papa John's party pack. 3
Papa John's pizzas, Palooza dog.
Sticks, the Papa's Palooza deal. Yeah. 2 large pizzas, meat lover all the way, breadsticks. Hey, and while you're doing it, log on here and show us a party pic of your place and your reactions with Papa John's.
Scan the box and get $5 off the first month of the ESPN app.
Yeah. No, don't have any of that. Scan, you have that QR code right there.
If you showed up 10 minutes before the show, I don't know how you could get all that done. But if you showed up earlier in the day, maybe.
Well, that was another thing. Scan the QR code for instructions how to even sign up for the ESPN app. So many people locked out. I mean, they only knew how to get on there. They had a lockout from all these distributors.
Yeah, they ribbed themselves on Friday with R-Truth trying to cut a promo. Did you see that?
I didn't see that. I didn't
on
watch
SmackDown. Yeah, on SmackDown, he had 3 different ways for you to sign up, and it's like, it's easy as that, dog. Just text me if you need help. And it was not as easy as that, dude. So
that's one of the biggest backlash. People didn't, in all the advertising, it really did make it sound like this is going to be on ESPN.
Yeah. Well,
but by the way, we mean the app.
Right there, it's a false positive, right? Like, you're fucking lying about it. So I love this guy from Wayne County Life. I think he's one of my favorite content creators right now. His characters are fucking awesome. But Uncle Terry and his man cave, his wrestling man cave, is over his shit.
Well, it's on Saturday night, but it ain't called Saturday night's main event. It's called WrestlePalooza. And I want to make sure I see it here, but I don't know if I can get my wrestling on my TV at this point, but they said you gotta have ESPN. And I got ESPN on this, but do I have the right ESPN, bud? Hell, it was easier when it was closed circuit television, bud. I used to go up to the damn Moose Lodge, watch a big old television, pay a damn admission, and that right there was easier to watch wrestling than it is now in my own damn home, bud. Now I'm on the phone with the damn cable company all day. I'm in my own verbal match with damn Kyle from Comcast, and I won it, but it became a damn handicap match. Me versus Kyle versus his supervisor, and we joined forces against him. I'm gonna get my wrestling on my Saturday night. I don't care what happens, but if you don't want
to. I mean, good stuff, right? Like, good little character work. I love that shit. I'd like to do something with him too from Wayne County Life. Just a little something special for Patreon. A couple people I've been thinking about trying to reach out to. So, and obviously a huge wrestling fan. He dropped some funny lines, deep cuts and shit, dude. So, But yeah, that's the Palooza, man. We'll see what the fallout is tonight on Raw, and see if I can speak. I mean, that'd be nice to be able to speak properly again and not have a stroke on camera.
Oh, Brantley mentioned there, Bubbles.
Oh yeah, that's
was over
yeah.
was all out.
Yeah, and I absolutely would love to work with him at 2CW and work the Green Bastard, if that's possible. So something I'm working on, but yeah, that was phenomenal, man. They're in Canada. For those who don't watch Trailer Park Boys, what the fuck is wrong with you? Go and sign up for Trailer Park Boys Plus. It's only $4 a month, and it's way better content than anything else you pay for. Or yeah, there's plenty out there. You can go find it on swatchseries.is. But aside from The Sopranos, Trailer Park Boys is my absolute favorite series, and I'm looking forward to the new one. But to have Bubbles and the Green Bastard with Edge and Christian was great, and I would have had all three of them, and I would have done something on a run-in, you know what I mean, and fucking and had Ricky and Julian help out. But Bubbles definitely should have fucking crowned somebody. So you know, there's plenty there, and like that makes me pumped for AEW. That I'm sure Edge probably said, "I want this," you know what I mean, because I know they're boys, and I've heard Bubbles reference them before on the podcast. So yeah, I'm putting that out in the atmosphere. I'd like to have all the Trailer Park Boys at Ravens joint or right next door at Larger Than Life to do a signing, and definitely would like to get my hands on that Green Bastard for parts unknown.
Very, very nice.
Frank, you don't know, you haven't ever seen it. Like you're missing out as a stoner, bro. It's the greatest stoner comedy brotherhood of all time, bro. It's the best show there is, with modern day Canadian Three Stooges to some degree, I would say, you know. So watch Trailer Park Boys, watch Raw, and you guys are watching the Monday Locker Room here, Hami Media Group. We're gonna have some switch over to Patreon in the upcoming months, so that's why we're kind of, you know, doing the live chat, giving away free. We thank for any super stickers, and I heard the watch along was a really great time. So thanks to you and Brandon and Jimmy T, and
we would have Colin in there. Colin was the four of us. The chat was rock. I think, you know, I hadn't laughed that hard in so long. It was such a good time, and it really does. It changes the whole demeanor of watching the product. You know, it really took me back to the days of everyone gathering. You know, we'd had a rotating place of pads, my friend's house. Everybody throwing the $5 for the pay-per-view, bring snacks, drinks for everybody. Yeah. It was a hell of a good time. Looking forward to do that again. But what you're saying there, Ben, coming up here, guys, we are starting to finalize some of these moves, these steps. We've got some really cool big things coming. We're going to keep giving you great content like this with the watch-alongs and all that. So don't get worked up thinking we're going completely behind the paywall. Just give some different features, some great options, and make sure that you're going to get your ROI. It's bang for the buck, and that we can keep bringing you the highest content in a variety of shows that we can.
Yeah, and it's not going to be no $29.99 a month, man.
Unless you want to send us that, we're not going to complain.
By all means. So, but yeah, good to talk to you today. And this one was for Grandpa. You know, rest in peace, brother, and thank you for making great jewels like Art of the B to the V to be a cornerstone, a pillar of HMG. So we can have great time with our community like this and all those watch-alongs, and share some time to get away from the madness of the world, or talk about the madness in the world and realize that you're not crazy out here, man. So it's all that marketing talk. It's all that business. And from a guy who never did shit and never will, really. So here on the Monday Locker Room, Hami Media Group, YOLO.